This video is for master recorders. For home meets, we have someone called a runner, and that's going to make your job a lot more stationary than if you're at an away meet, and it just depends if the away team has a runner or not. So let's talk about home meets first. You are the master recorder. You will have a table. It won't look like this. It'll be a long table that'll have a label on that, a sign on it that says master recorder. We have one and the other team has one. You work together. So here is what you will do for home meets. You will come over here about event. You always check in first. Please check in with our workshop coordinator and making sure that they know that you are here. You'll get a name tag. By event 5-ish, you'll need to be set and ready to go at the master recorder table. The reason why 5 is that we print our timer sheets, looks like this, in 5 events. Make sure by event 5 you're at the table here. Our runner will be collecting 2 different sheets. They'll be collecting the place judge form, looks like this, and then they're going to go to each of our 8 lanes and pick up a recorder sheet, timer recorder sheet from each of the lanes. Now, if you are at an away meet, you are the one that may have to be collecting those sheets. So again, home meets, we have a runner. You get to just hang out here by the table and wait for those sheets to arrive to you. Away meets, you may be the one that has to take turns with the opposing team master recorder in collecting these sheets from those people. Again, you're collecting from judge's recorder, who's standing behind the judges, and then each of the lanes, the recorder that has the times on it. So I know it's a little confusing, away versus home, but home meets stay, away meets you may have to go pick those up if the away team doesn't have a runner. But once you're sitting down with these sheets of paper, that is when you work together with the other master recorder. One of you will read out loud, the other one will write the information. You will get timer sheets. Timer sheets are from each of the lanes. Home meets, we do 5 events per sheet. Some away teams won't. They may do a whole bunch or they may do less, totally up to them. So that's another thing of just being cognizant that home versus away sometimes has little differences in the way that the team chooses to run their systems. Okay, so home meets we have 5 and you will get 1 from each lane. So home meets you will get 8 sheets of paper. Away meets it'll either be 5 or 6 depending on how many lanes they have. The first thing you need to do is organize your 8 sheets of paper by lane. Example of prepping the paper. So once you get all of the timer sheets, you will organize it by lane. So lane 1 all the way to lane, for home meets it'll be lane 8. Making sure they're in the order of the events. This is 36 to event 40. Lane 1 is in the top. This is for the person going to be reading out loud the times. This sheet will be the person that is transcribing the times on here. You can see they did have room on the side to do the column under time. The person who's transcribing will have these called the place judge forms. You can see, it looks like, to be writing down the times. When you get a place judge form, and again, you want to make sure they're in the correct order for the events. This is event 19, event 20, and then you'll just stack it in order. Just prep your papers so that things can go fast once you start to write everything down. On these place judge forms, when you get the sheet of paper, you should have this filled out already. You don't fill this out. This is just the lanes in the order that they touched. And then hopefully the judge's recorder has been trained to do this job here, which they go ahead and put the places in here. Hopefully this is already filled out. The times have not been filled out yet. That is the master recorder's job. All right, so master recorder number 1 will say event number 40, lane 1, 3224. The person transcribing is making sure they're reading event 40. Lane 1, they're writing down 3224. This person flips up the sheet and says lane 2, 3287. This person writes down 3287, so on and so forth. You'll get a hang of it, but that's the most efficient way to sort of get the information all done. When you are all done and everything is written on the place judge form, if the runner is available, they can take it to the computer table. If the runner's not available, you don't have a far way of going. You just walk here to here. So you can stand up, hand it to the computer operator, and then they can start inputting all of the times into the computer system. All right. easy, but sometimes a little confusing, but just making sure you're working with the person. And just as a reminder, prepping the papers before you start reading them is vital to getting things a lot more efficiently run. And that way we can get the computer system updated in a timely manner, and then get out of here and go home after the meet and everything is nice and organized. Thanks, everybody.